Okay, so welcome to Wednesday night interviews with the bands, and we've got two bands for you this evening. The first of which is What Happens Next, also known as WHN. So please welcome the band, and yeah, let's hear who you are and what you do in the band, please.
Okay, I am Oscar. I am the singer, rhythm guitarist, and in very dire times, I am the keyboardist too. Yeah, hi.
I'm Josh, and I attempt to play lead guitar.
I'm Bella, and I play bass. A mistaken alliteration.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
I'm JJ.
you play what?
I have alliteration too.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool.
Always trying to stand out. Jesus.
So yeah, so you've got an EP out, so we're going to play that all the way through this interview. We've got 4 songs we're going to play, but we want to get to know a little bit about the band and what you're all about and where you come from. And I mean, Oscar, I know are you at Hampton School?
I am. Yeah. So is Josh actually.
Are you both at school? So that's
Yeah,
where Brian
yeah.
May. I mean, that's Brian May was there, wasn't he?
Yes.
Massive.
Yeah. Good territory.
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Yeah. Trying to challenge that, but no. I mean, it's really weird to think that he went to the same place. Really. I mean, obviously, I think he was at grammar school back then, actually. So
yeah,
you know, very
was,
different.
Yeah, Hampton
but then,
Grammar,
but, yeah. Now it's all. But yeah, it's crazy. Just walk the hallowed halls and everything.
Yeah,
it's quite cool.
But I think with Hampton, I mean, you know, I've been doing this for 12 years now, and Hampton, for some reason, they've always seemed to have a really good music teacher. Have you got a really good music teacher now?
I mean, there's so many. Josh, do you want to say this because you've actually done music longer than me, haven't you, at Hampton?
Well, we have like 4 now, and they are all really good. But I think I know the one you're talking about because there was a teacher who left a couple of years ago, and I might be wrong about this, but I think he taught like Radiohead GCSE music. Yeah.
At Abingdon, Abingdon Boys back in the 80s.
Yeah. So that's quite crazy.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and I remember sort of like we had so many fantastic bands coming out of Hampton over the years. So yeah, so it looks like there's another one emerging. Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
So Bella, whereabouts are you? Did you study music at all, or?
No, I definitely the kind of person that I just play it by ear, which is probably sometimes a bad idea. But yeah, I haven't ever had any bass lessons or anything. Never did music GCSE. I'm like, these guys are the theoretical ones. So,
yeah. Wow, that's really cool. It's cool. I mean, sometimes you sort of like, you know, it's just like if you can play by ear and you've obviously got a musical gift because not everyone can do that. I mean, you know, there's people that, you know, there's people that sort of like study music and they still don't quite get that sort of thing, you know. They need that what is that? Is that a bird?
That is, I'm in my garden and it is really loud today.
Wow, that's a songbird, man. That's
beautiful. All the nature of Ealing.
So, tell me about this EP. How did you how long has the band been together, and when did you decide then to sort of do an EP? You know.
Well, it was. I mean, the band has been. When did we form? 2017, originally. Wow. So that's been. I mean, I was in year 10, and we did it for this. I don't know. You might know the Arts Award, which is like a extra GCSE. And I was with a mate called Oscar, and another Oscar. Like, there's a lot of us at Hampton, and we were just a 2-piece for the longest time. Honestly, for a good year and a half, we put out an album and then put out a single, and then everything sort of, you know, like we sort of had to give it all up for GCSEs, and then he left the band. So we, at a very similar time, started reforming it. It became a 4-piece. And then we sort of, I think it like became a different band almost. Like we used to be much more poppy than we are now. I think now, I would say at least, that we're a hard rock band. Not everyone in the band would agree, sure, but it's, so it's been a pretty winding journey already. Like I genuinely did not expect, like, what was it, 2017? It's like 3 years ago almost, that we'd be gigging even, to be honest.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
So obviously, Bella, you've only been with the band for
3 total days.
3
It's been a
total
very long
days.
journey.
So you haven't had a gig yet with them. Have you played in another band and gig with another band at all?
Yeah, I'm in a day in June, and we played well back February.
Okay. Who was that with?
A day in June.
Oh, A Day in June.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So you were in the Battle of the Bands
Yeah.
in the Heat. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. And Josh, you're how long have you been in this band?
Since the start of last year, so around January 2019, which
Okay.
is because Oscar and I were in another very much failing band at the time.
Awful.
And
So
then
bad.
we wrote a song together, and we thought it was pretty good. So Oscar wanted to use it in his band, What Happens Next. And then sometime during this argument about who should have ownership, he just said, "Do you want to just join What Happens Next?" So I was like, "Yeah, all right."
Okay.
And then the empire
It worked
began.
out for the best. I mean, we're roughly happy now. So
Yeah. That's strange, isn't it? How things work out. It's cool. Okay, well let's go and hear the first song. What's the first song called?
that is
Bloody hell.
it's called Bloody Hell. Yeah.
Bloody Hell. Okay. All right. Well, let's go and have a listen to Bloody Hell, and then we'll come back and have a chat to you in a second.
Wake up, shake up till your face up, hunt is closing in. Terrified and petrified, I'm punished for your sins. Bitch with pissing pestilence are going on the prowl. Running for your life and then the picture dims right down. Don't know who you are. Breathe in, let out again. Till the poison from your veins. Cause a new dose is on its way. 1,000 miles from the clock face, I've been waiting for a sign. Your head is in the clouds and it'll stay there until every cloud is mine. Run, I've cut my tongue off entering the fray. When a city's burning, 100 souls are hiding where we lay. Sparks are flying, times are changing, embers on the ground. The cannons fire, the people roar, hellfire all around. You're just who we are. Think that it's all in your head. Running from the future. From what happens next. 1, 2, 3, rock! From the clock face, I've been waiting for a sign. Your head is in the clouds and it'll stay there right there till every cloud is mine.
Okay, so that was Bloody Hell. Nice tune, sort of like it's got a bit of a nice start to it with that sort of I don't know, it's a constant vocal going through. It reminds me of something in the sort of like it reminds me of a sort of 70s, late 70s sort of punky type track to start with.
Yeah.
Really?
That's actually really I don't think either of us even thought of it like that, but
I think
it
we
makes
based it
sense.
a lot on like newer punk, kind of Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes kind of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I
I
think
guess not Sony, but Nirvana came into it for me.
yeah, I think punk has its sort of like. I mean, I sort of like really when punk revolution was taken off, I was there, and I had all my hair spiked up in a Mohican and all sorts of stuff, and we spat at everybody because that was a thing to do, and it's really weird.
Yeah,
It's a
we can
very
only dream.
strange time. Yeah, and it was this sort of like basically F everybody, and shouting and screaming, and
Exactly.
yeah, it was a real funny time. But yeah, that was good. Let's ask you a couple of questions so that we can actually get Bella a bit more involved, because we seem to be neglecting Bella at the moment. That's my fault, really,
That's all right. Don't worry.
but you've only been in the band
My
3 weeks.
72 hours haven't been very eventful.
Questions. Where's my questions gone? Here's my questions. Okay, which band member is the most annoying?
Well, we can't talk about Kit because we've got Kit.
In that case, I don't have an answer.
No answer to that one. Okay.
It's gotta be.
Well, I'm going to say Oscar because I'm the most comfortable calling him annoying.
Okay. Sounds like a good friendship. Who's that bird? Is amazing.
Yeah. No, we should sample that.
It's really,
If only he
really
could
isn't
sing
it?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Right, and has anyone seen Bella dance?
I think we can now if she's up for it.
The next question is like, who's the best dancer in the band?
Well, Bella, I've seen you dance at some parties, definitely.
Shut up.
I do have some footage of us at our first gig with the Basement Door. We played Feel Good Inc. And Oscar was doing some dancing there.
Okay.
And
yeah, it was
it's left got a vivid image in my mind. Whether that's in a good or a bad way is up to everyone else to decide, having seen it for themselves.
Yeah, please,
I find it
please
quite
don't
disturbing.
go asking for
Did you?
So by default, that's me. I leave the strongest impression.
Right, this next question is a bit funny one. What would you name your scented candle? If you had a scented candle, what would you call it? You got to sell this to the public, remember? I'm gonna go, Josh. What do you reckon?
I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with candle, but it's surprisingly hard.
Yeah. Bella?
That's actually a really good question. I was not prepared for that. Not that I was prepared, but maybe like the Leonov effect.
Leonov effect. Okay.
Oh God.
Interpret as you wish.
Yeah.
I'd second that actually.
All right, let's go on to the next one then. Funniest memory from a live gig.
Oh God, I have one that's come straight to mind.
The mic stand.
Well, that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The mic stand. When we were in Battle of
the one I had to come pick up for you.
Yeah, that was excruciatingly embarrassing. I guess I got into it a bit too much. But also when we were in Islington, I remember our drummer obviously, takes time to set up like any normal drummer would. I expected him to be like the Flash or something. So I just thought he was ready without turning around, just screamed like, "Hello, Islington." And then we had to wait 5 minutes until he was ready to play.
All about the timing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that when we did a gig back in like December, we played at this little Christmas festival thing in Hampton. And I think we were just between songs, someone was trying to work something out. I think it was before Seven Nation Army, because we hadn't played that together before. We just thought, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And this guy from the crowd starts screaming Metallica lyrics at us because I was wearing this Metallica Christmas jumper. And then we went into what you could call a little impromptu Sandman jam for him. And he got so into it. And I've never seen someone quite so enthusiastic at one of our gigs, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're planning, if possible, to go back there this year and finally play him the Sandman he deserves.
Hopefully he's back. It'd be really disappointing if he didn't show up again.
We did promise him. We said maybe next year. So
he's not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think that was something.
Let's do your next song. Bella, what's the next song?
That's a really good question.
Rhymes with killing lime.
Killing Time.
Killing Time.
Gotcha.
Let's go and have a listen to Killing Time from WHN, and we'll be back in 2 secs.
Bury me in your bed so you can visit every day. And I'm working out the details until you bury them with me. Maybe you can't see me. Maybe I'm in every part of your terrorized and tortured head. So keep this in your heart. Ride me with dishonesty, 'cause your love won't work anymore. Choke on these words and choke back those tears, but don't bite off more than me and you. Tell me something you'll regret. Am I killing time or killing you? Bury me in your mind, 2 feet deep, no more, no less. In your subconscious, but never on your conscience. I can't do it by myself, and being bitter works, believe me. So watch me as you run away, lest you forget why you're leaving. Ride me with dishonesty, 'cause your love won't work anymore. Choke on these words and choke back those tears, but don't bite off more than me and you. Tell me something you'll regret. Am I killing time or killing? I hate to speak ill of the dead to me, but I'll make an exception for you. Bribe me with dishonesty, 'cause your love won't work anymore. Choke on these words and choke back those tears, but don't bite off more than me and you. Tell me something you'll regret. Am I killing time or killing you?
So there we go, Killing Time. Who writes your songs? And obviously, Bella, you've just joined the band, but have you been asked to help out writing things yet?
No songs have been written in the last 72 hours yet.
Okay.
But maybe in the future, maybe.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's quite hard bringing you into a sort of interview with a band when you've just been there for 3 days. It's like,
No,
wow.
it's okay. It's okay.
We'll talk about a day in June or something, shall we? And just like, mention that band. Or should we not mention that band?
I don't mind.
We don't
Putting
talk
an
about
interview
that.
away from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Like our egos
have
are
to
not
start
too
crying.
fragile.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Okay. So, all right, let me ask you our most popular question, and we ask every band. I don't know if you heard. Have you heard this question? Have you seen the interviews at all?
Seen a few.
Okay.
I've seen one.
Right,
All right. So this is the snail question. So if you had a pet snail, what would you call it? Let's start with Bella, then Josh, then Oscar. And if you get this, if you repeat a snail's name, I'll tell you can't have that name. All right, Bella.
Can you come back to me?
Okay.
It's a very philosophical question.
Is it? Okay.
I need
Josh.
a moment.
I would call mine Percy.
Good. We haven't had Percy. That's good. You can have that. So Percy, children would get confused with that, wouldn't they? It's Percy the snail. No, it's Percy the pig. No, it's Percy the snail. That'd be confusing.
It's not
but it'd
very
be good.
marketable, is it?
I don't know.
Are
Might
you
be.
marketing the snail? Is there some sort of snail trade going on that I'm unaware of?
We
There could
need
be.
money for
There
merch.
could
So.
be
He doesn't
Yeah.
tell me anything.
coming up. Oscar, what would you call your snail?
I mean, I'd be tempted just for some continuity to call it the Leonov effect. Just to, like
go with
every
Campbell.
single thing that I own, just call it the Leonov effect, and then
Okay.
no one can get confused. I reckon. Yeah.
And you can copyright that I should think, quite easily.
I mean, unless some other Leonov sort of wants to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, back to Bella.
Okay, I would either go with alliteration, something like syncopated snail, or like Sally the snail, or I would go into like a whole other route and be like Plato and just make Plato into a snail.
Have Sally the snail.
know.
I don't think we've had a girl snail yet.
Oh,
you might
okay,
be
well, I can
I
make a
think you
girl
might be the
Samantha.
first to have a girl snail name.
Samantha.
Who's
Sally.
What's my
Samantha?
mum's name?
Sorry, I'm getting overrun. Samantha.
Samantha the snail.
Samantha the snail. Okay, right. Percy, Samantha, the Leonov effect. Okay, cool. Right. Okay.
Yes.
We've asked this question about feet size, and we had our biggest foot so far from Thomas last week on Friday. He's a size 13 feet.
Wow.
Thomas Brown.
Damn it.
So yeah, really big. I was like, wow, great. And he's 6'4" as well. So that's like, yeah, he's much bigger than I thought he was.
He's always so much
I've only
taller
met him
than I
about
think
100
he is.
times. Sorry, Bella?
He's always so much taller than I think he is.
Yeah.
Really like surprises me every time.
So size feet then. Oscar, you were disappointed.
12.
So you got size 12. No.
I was so close. This close. Quite
Well,
literally
an
this
inch.
close, actually.
Literally an inch away. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Josh, tell me you're 14 now, just to really piss him off.
13 and a half. No. I'm 10.
10.
Myself.
Nice average size. Good. Bella?
5?
5.
Just kind of
Is
taking
that
a step down.
That's an average lady's size, female size, woman's size. Don't know what you call it now.
I hope so.
I think it is about
Not
that,
good
isn't
enough.
it? Yeah. Standing it. Right. Okay. Okay. Should we go and listen to a third song?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So,
Uh,
Josh, what's the third one, mate?
The third one is called Daydreamer, and this is our oldest song that made it on the EP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Right. Let's go and have a listen to Daydreamer, and we'll come back.
Standing underneath the shining blanket of the stars, trapped in a solitary moment for eternity. This sound that resonates inside your very core. Do you know what you will find when you walk out that door? Oh, quality that we raised in every way. I can't believe you let this fallacy control you. How long's it been since you last saw the light of day? Forever waiting for you to thaw through. Inside a tailor-made world, living life inside a tailor-made world, living life inside a tailor-made world, living life inside a tailor-made world. Oh, daydreamer, oh, daydreamer, living life inside a tailor-made world, living life inside a tailor-made world.
Okay, so welcome back. So that's 3 down, 1 more to go. So that was Daydreamer. Oscar, what's the gist of Daydreamer?
So Daydreamer, right? That is it's probably our simplest song actually. We've got we wrote it originally when it was just the two of us to make it like a really big thing. So everyone would be singing the chorus. It is like unbelievably simple in the chorus. There is minimal lyrics, just so everyone can enjoy it. Yeah, and it's a nice. Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's a nice song. But yeah, just sort of the one that like I think the whole band, well, apart from Bella so far, gets really hyped up when we play it. Like it's a song that we can sort of rely on. It's our rock, roughly.
It's good to have a song like that, isn't it, in a band? I think everyone knows it and everyone really likes it. And I think simplicity is one of the keys in these things. If you've got a song that's very simple that people can sing along to, it's like, even if it's like ba 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 or a dum da dum dum or whatever, people love singing those things, and it's like they get involved in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. Good. Okay. So we had you in Battle of the Bands, and what heat were you in? 3?
We were
First one.
Yeah, first one. Yeah.
First one. Was it for heat 1? I've forgotten now. There's so many. We had such a great time this year with the Battle of the Bands. We've talked about it in almost every interview, because I think, but it was.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was
a really
so
great
fun.
venue. Yeah,
Fantastic.
really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it's really good to see so much talent on that stage, so many times, week in, week out. I think it's one of the best years, and I put my hand on my heart, one of the best years we've ever had. For the talent that's available and the amount of people that joined in with it, and also the venue as well was stupendous. It was a great venue to play in. So we should big up the Exchange and thank them very much for supporting us through it and everything. Of course, I was literally running around on the first heat, actually the first night. The next day, my calves were absolutely killing me, because I had to run up and down those stairs on the side, and they're sprung stairs. I run up and down those stairs so many times in the night, and I don't usually do that. So the next day I was like, why are my calves hurting so much? I can only walk. And it's because of those, running up and down the stairs all the time. So yeah. It's good.
It was really intense. I remember, like, it was just such an energetic show, which was really surprising because everyone was sat down. I mean, for us anyway. But but it was amazing just how much energy there was. Like, everyone, I think the audience was just rooting for every single band.
Yeah,
which was a really lovely,
nice feeling. Very accepting of everyone, all the different genres that went there.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, it was really good, and I think the audiences, like you say, they seem to be just supporting every act that came on, and it was really good. And we love that when we do Battle of the Bands, that's what we ask for, is like that the audience, you know, there's no booing anybody, certainly no booing, but there's actually this real sort of like get behind the bands. You're having a great show tonight and everything, you know. And it's also difficult, I think, because it's like it's different to a gig where you're performing. You've got to get 3 songs and bang 3 songs out really well for the judges to sort of do it. It must be, for a band, must be really difficult to just go, right, let's pack this energy in, because you don't. When you're doing a gig, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in a gig, you can sort of start off slowly. If you've got half an hour or 3/4 an hour, you can start off slowly and you can build it. You can get the audience building up with you and get this big crescendo. But when you're doing that, it's like you've got to go bangs from the moment you open your mouth and play. You've got to be hitting it on the nail. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for A Day in June, I was on the floor by like halfway through the first song, and like normally, like I wait like at least 2 songs before I get on the floor, but like you just got to get in there straight away. Yeah.
Got to do it.
Yeah. I was
really
running up to everyone in the front row and just playing right in their face.
Oh god, yeah, that was amazing, Josh.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it's really.
It was really fun. It was also our first time using a keyboard live, wasn't it?
First and only. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and that was really exciting actually to have like all these different sounds that, you know, obviously it's just a short piano intro, but like the energy there was what you were saying about it all being packed into such a little time. I mean, we normally, when we do a gig, we introduce ourselves after song 3.
Yeah.
So only having 3 songs to work with, like we, you know, every show like has a high and a low point, energy wise. Like, yeah, really hard to think about, but fun.
Thanks for that keyboard stand, by the way.
That's all right. No worries. Yeah, you still got that, yeah? That's all right. I gave that to you, didn't I?
Just over there.
In that room. Yeah. I had 2 spare because we get these bits left behind from gigs all the time, and I think, you know, it's really strange. Sometimes we can't find things because people said, "Oh, I've left some keyboard pedals there or something," you know, and it's like can't find them. But a lot of the time we get stuff that's left behind, and we put a picture up on Instagram, and no one claims it, and we think, "Oh, so we've got these bits and pieces." So every one or 2 years, we'll do a table with giveaways and just say there's Boss pedals here and there's this and that, you know, and all sorts of stuff lying around, you know. Yeah. So
I remember our first gig with you, my dad left his laptop at the venue for some reason.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that.
Why did he bring it with him?
I don't know.
Just Steve doing Steve stuff.
It's just how we do it in the Jenner household. Got to turn up to a gig with your equipment. For me, that means a guitar. For him, you know, it means a laptop. Just how it is.
Right, we're going to go and listen to your last song now on the EP, and then we're going to come back and just finish off with maybe a couple more questions and find out a little bit more. And so who's going to introduce the next song?
I think Oscar should do this one. This is his song.
Okay.
Cool.
What's the song called, Oscar?
Got to introduce it, man.
Oh, it's called God Particle. Sorry,
Okay.
God Particle.
God Particle.
Are you sure about that?
I think so. Yes.
So,
I think so.
So you went away from Halon Collider and just went, let's God Particle. Let's do it that way.
Yeah. Just something pseudo-scientific.
Cool. Okay. I'm just noticing that my face looks really red on this screen. Is it looking red to you? I've been out in the sun.
It's not too bad.
It's not that red. You should have seen me yesterday.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Right, let's go and listen to, what's the song called again? The God Particle.
God Particle. I remember now.
Are you sure, Oscar? Are you sure?
It's a full song of WHNZP. It's called The God Particle. Please enjoy.
Golden smoke fills my lungs. My legs earthquakes have gone them in devastation. My brothers are falling, Uriel's calling. This one shows the right dedication. I lift the sky to the cold dead sun, and now I'm lost and now I'm weeping in the face of progress. The further we go, never to return. All in the name of a halal God, Gaudei bim semper. Where is your God? Fragile, are we past repair? Severed our ties, remaining caged. I tear on this leash, and I shout and I scream for the blood of kings to run red through the streets. I lift the sky to the cold dead sun, and now I'm lost and now I'm weeping in the face of progress. The further we go, never to return. All in the name of a halal God, Gaudei bim semper. Where is your God? A damaged hand upon the blade, searching for a path to rearrange. You'll meet your fate when those you've damned escape. And now I'm lost and now I'm weeping in the face of progress. The further we go, never to return. All in the name of a halal God, Gaudei bim semper. Where is your
There we go. God Particle. That completes the EP for this evening. So we're going to talk a little bit about the
Finally.
EP, and find out where we can get it from, and yeah, just fill us in on a bit more information about that. So who wants to talk about the EP in its entirety?
Josh, do you want to cover that?
Yeah, can do. So I'm going to take you back to about April when Oscar and I had nothing to do. And we thought, let's do a little Instagram live where we're both going to do a little acoustic jam. And it went really well, actually, despite the lag between the videos and stuff. It sounded really like a nice side of us that doesn't really get to come out all that often. So then I had the idea where we could do like a little series of acoustic covers and stuff. And then it was Oscar's idea to say, why don't we just do our originals acoustically, release it as an EP, because we don't have any music out yet officially. And I thought that was a very good idea. So we knuckled down, started talking about some ideas for the songs we already had, wrote a couple of new ones, namely Bloody Hell and God Particle, which were written by me and Oscar respectively, mostly. And then it all just kind of culminated together as this project that we're pretty proud of now, and we hope it gives people a nice introduction to the cleaner, softer side of what we do.
Yeah, before we come back kicking and screaming.
It's good.
So I think it's quite nice to hear kind of the music behind the distortion.
Yes, yeah. Is it where is it available then? Is it on all normal platforms like Spotify, SoundCloud?
Yeah, when the interview's gone live, that will have been Wednesday. Yeah, so Wednesday it will be out. Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much. Actually, you know what? Everywhere but SoundCloud. So don't look for it in SoundCloud, please.
Okay.
What's your problem with SoundCloud?
We just personally nothing to me. Like I very neutral about SoundCloud.
So has Josh got a problem with SoundCloud?
I think SoundCloud has a bit of a reputation, doesn't it, for amateur artists, and we're very, very professional in what we do.
Oh, I see.
Like,
Okay. All right. Okay.
3
You're too
years to
superior
make
for
this full
SoundCloud.
EP and
Risky.
get it out there. We've been building up.
Cool. So what's the EP called? I mean, has it got a name?
Yeah, indeed. It's called Chapter 0: opening words.
Okay. Chapter 0:
We're thinking to do essentially a series of EPs as opposed to an album. So yeah, we were going to do like if we were going to do like our normal sort of hard rock, it'd be maybe one 4-song EP, another 4-song EP, maybe a third, maybe, just to get all of our songs out, because we thought, well, an album, like, it's much easier to focus your attention on 20 minutes of music as opposed to 40. So we'd rather people just enjoy it. Well, if they're going to enjoy it, that's a bit of a presumption, but like in short bursts. And yeah, this is chapter, like, being acoustic. It's all very stripped back. It's all quite basic, I guess. This is like the sort of, I guess, birth of where everything else will come from. So it'll be cool. I think when we're finished with everything, I'm gonna just listen back to the acoustic stuff and think, oh, right, that's what, these are the original ideas.
We thought of it as like a prologue when we were trying to name the EP, and following the chapters 1, 2, and maybe 3 that will come afterwards. You've got the 0 before it, and then the opening words.
I like it. I like the concept. I think it's nice. And it also, I think, like you're saying with the album, it's like, I mean, if you want to get all your songs out there and you want to get them out in short clumps, you can probably produce more EPs in a year than you can do an album. Because an album, I think, if you're going to do an album, has to be the right songs on that album. You can't just put all your songs together on an album. They have to have something that flows through them. A sense of journey through the album. You can't just have it just sort of like, let's just chuck these songs on it. Some people do that.
I think it needs to be the right time as well. An album is great when you're like a bigger artist and people are genuinely prepared to listen to you for an hour non-stop. But we're not quite there yet, so our focus is more on the live shows, and the EPs kind of supplement that, the way I see it.
Well, it's been good. Okay, so well, that's it then. We're wrapping up the interview. It's been really good chatting to you and getting to know you, and seeing Bella join the band. It's brilliant. We didn't do too much about how you left a day in June and came to WHL.
No, I haven't left a day in June.
No, she's not left.
I have not left a day in June. No. I'm just in both.
Hang on. So Digby's waiting to come in. Should we bring Digby in?
Yes, but I haven't left a day in June.
Oh, you haven't left a day in June. Oh,
No.
So you're still in it. Okay, that's my mistake then. That's my mistake.
Yeah, no. People are gonna start crying. No, I'm joking.
We've got. Is Digby part of the band?
Not that I know of.
Not yet.
He's entered the waiting room.
Our second bassist.
Let him in. Let him in.
We have an announcement to make.
Should we let him in and find out?
Should we let him in and find out? It's going to be interesting. This is going to be an exclusive. Let's
Everyone's
see what he's got to
welcome.
say, because we're recording right now. Let's just don't tell him we're recording. Let's see what he says. Hang on.
Come on, Digby.
Digby.
Digby. Nice ceiling.
Where are you, Digby?
Yeah,
what are you doing, mate? Audio's connecting. This is interesting.
Oh.
Hey, Digby, you all right?
I don't think so.
I don't think he is.
Is he coming to the wrong room? Okay, we'll leave it there then. Okay, that was interesting little end. So we'll leave it there, and we'll we'll hopefully the EP do well, and we'll promote it for you and stuff like that. And it's been
Thanks
great
very
chatting
much.
to you, and we look
Thank you.
forward to seeing you again live in a live gig somewhere on planet Earth. All right, guys.
Thanks for having
Hopefully,
us.
Cheers.
Thank you
Thanks
so
very
much.
much.
Cheers.
Okay, welcome to our Wednesday evening interviews with the bands. This is the second one for this evening, and we welcome the Riversiders. So, do you want to just, guys, tell us who you are and what you do in the band? We'll start with Alfie, then go to Isat, and then Dominic, also known as Digby, and then Yanni. Go, Alfie.
My name is Alfie, and I sing and play guitar and write the songs.
Cool. I'm Esat. I play lead guitar, write the solos, all that cool stuff.
I'm Yanni, and I play bass.
And I'm Digby, and I play the drums.
Cool. Okay, good. So we've got a couple of songs that we're gonna play of yours later during this interview and everything. But we want to talk to you about how things have been going. First of all, I want to start with when did the band come together? Because I think I don't know how long it is I've known you guys. It feels like years.
I think it has been. Didn't we start in?
Yeah.
Started in I mean, it depends how far back you want to go, because there's been iterations of different bands before this one. With because, do we want to talk about that?
No, we'll save that. Save that for another interview.
Save that for the movie.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of slagging off going to go on here, with
No,
somebody else?
no. Everyone's friends. Well,
cool. So when did the Riversiders, in its current form, sort of really get together?
That was year 12.
2 years ago, I think.
I say 2 years.
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
2.5 years, something like that.
Wow.
I remember our first gig was actually at Basement Door, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, in
Was
Richmond.
was that in Richmond?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back in the Richmond days.
Oh, we can't do that anymore in there because we can't have bands in there. That's mad.
So what's going on with that? What's the deal with that?
Well, there was a lady who moved into one of the flats behind the venue, and she didn't like the music or any noise at all, apparently. So
just this one lady who screwed it all for you?
One lady screwed up the
What a
whole
bitch.
bit. Not just for us, not just for us, but the church now can't hire that for parties, which brought in revenue, for meetings and stuff that have anything to do with music or loudness in them. Nothing. Even children's parties in the church, like little children, like 3 and 4 year olds used to hire the church for parties, and pay the church to do it and everything. And she complained at 3 o'clock in the afternoon one day, on a Saturday afternoon. She complained there was too much noise, and it was like there was these little children running around screaming. And it was like, it's going to be an hour or so of your time and your life. It's like.
Why weren't you guys there first, though?
Huh?
Sorry, Essa. No, go on, Essa. I interrupted him.
Well, sounds like a Karen. She sounds like a Karen.
A Karen. I don't know who that is, but but yeah, she was.
You guys were there first, though. Is she allowed to do that?
Well, it was a compromise between the church and her, because she persisted in writing letters to the council and about this noise. The trouble is, we weren't breaking any rules. We finished at 10 o'clock on every gig that she complained about. We were done by 10 o'clock, so we were an hour early finishing our gigs. And the noise really was for about 2 hours of music. It wasn't that loud. The doors and windows were always closed, so it's not like a massive thumping thing in your living room. But if you ever saw her, I mean, she came down the alleyway a couple of times and tried to, she confronted me, and she actually pushed one of our young people that were working with us. And I called the police that night. I said, I'm sorry, that's assault and you can't do that. So I called the police and they turned up, but she'd already gone. But her face, I mean, if I say, how old do you think she might have been?
Well, you're
60.
saying that. I would have thought old, but now you're saying that I'm thinking maybe younger than.
She was about early 30s, and she looked absolutely stressed out to the max. I don't think I've ever seen anyone so stressed out by life. You know, her nerves were like, you know, so we can still do acoustics there and training, but we can't do band stuff, which is where we've always had
Maybe
bands
she'll
there.
move away. Maybe she'll move away someday, and we can go back there. And
yeah, one day it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
So, where are you guys now then? Are you still doing band stuff elsewhere?
So we're doing band stuff. We got the Kingston venues. We had the Kingston venues. They're actually being sold to new management, and we're waiting now during this lockdown period to see if they're going to come back to let us have those venues again. But the Kingston basement and the upper room, we've done quite a lot in there, and they were really good little venues as well. The Kingston basement is like a really nice, small, tight fit sort of place, and it's low ceiling, and it is intimate, and it's really cool. We really love it. Proper little grungy, you know, new band sort of place.
nice.
And then we had then we've got a new place hopefully opening up in Hinchley Wood. So we got a new one which we were just working on before the lockdown came. So we've got a new venue working over there. And then of course we've got the Exchange as possibilities for a really big gigs once a month or whatever. It was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, I loved playing an Exchange.
And the staff were amazing. The staff were just incredible there for us. They were absolutely brilliant. We loved them to bits. So that was really good. So we should talk about Riversiders really more than the basement.
Yeah, sorry.
Good catching up, at least. We've known you guys for so long.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Well, I've seen you a little bit, Alfie, because we do a little bit of help out with the old rock and roll recruits. So I've seen you a little bit over there.
That's true.
Yeah. I must say though that seeing you at the Battle of the Bands this year as a guest act, I think you really have matured a lot. It's really good to see the sort of like that. It's a different, you know, when you sort of, I don't know if you noticed it, but you see the bands on stage and everything, and they're all young and they're really doing it. They're doing quite well. But you've been doing this a while, and there's a little bit of a difference. There's a little level up. So like people like you and Strange Child and a couple of other bands that are doing these guest appearances for us on these heats, you could see the level difference of like how professional they were and entertaining, you know. So I think really well done to you guys and thank you for doing it. It was really appreciated.
Thanks,
it's our pleasure, man.
So we need to talk about your single. We're going to listen to a single, and then we're going to ask you some questions after that, and then we'll go back and listen to another single, and then we'll end, I suppose. So what's this single? The first single we're going to listen to?
Homesick.
And how long's that been around, Homesick?
Oh, that's been a while. It's been just about over a year, like a year.
It's our first release.
Yeah, our first release.
It's doing listen, because I remember it coming out, it did really well. Was it on Spotify?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It did really. So how many streams did it get?
Well, it's still going. I can check. It's something like 200.
It's over 200,000 streams on Spotify.
Right now, cool. It's on.
I think it's amazing.
It's on 224,368.
Wow, that's really cool. Because I remember when you first posted up, a very short time after you sort of released it, the numbers were going up, and you're going, "Oh, this is incredible!" So it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We just got so much support for it. Like, yeah, it just blew up. Everyone was sharing it. I mean, like at one point there were more people listening to that song in America than there were in England. Yeah, we don't know anyone in America. Like, how does that happen?
I think we owe that to Spotify, man. Like, we got so lucky that that song got put on Discover Weekly. I think without Discover Weekly, it wouldn't have like taken off.
Wow. So that's the trick, is it? Well, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go and listen to Homesick. There we go. So that's Homesick with 224,000 something or other views on streams on Spotify at the moment. So that's really cool. So what's Homesick about?
Oh, fuck. Homesick is about missing someone, but not wanting to like gush about it. Sort of trying to avoid like, oh man, I'm really bad at. I wrote a paragraph about this for like a blog or something. What, I can't remember what I said, but it was pretty good. I said something like, it's when you miss someone, but you don't quite have the balls to tell them. But so you don't want to like pour out to them, but at the same time, you want to let them know.
It's a man thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I'm quite good at feelings, but
yeah,
I mean, this song, not so much.
Well, people love it. I mean, it's like the one song that people always sing along with at gigs.
Yeah,
that's
man.
really good. What's that like to have your song sung back to you? It's like,
oh, it's amazing. It's great. Yeah.
Best feeling so far about gigging, really.
It was our first time recording as well. It was like a new experience.
Yeah.
It's quite.
And where did you record this? Did you record it in a studio, or was it like a home recording in a studio?
Well, Pirate Studios. We went and we did. They had like a deal on or something where you can get a song mixed and mastered and recorded in a day for a certain amount of money, and it was a lot cheaper than the other options because we hadn't made any like. Oh, we saved up money from gigs with the Basement Door and a little bit of busking, and we just were like, yeah, let's go. And we recorded Homesick because it was like the one demo that we had that people liked the most, and so we got it recorded, and then it was in the studio. So that's cool. A really long-winded way of
Aren't you going to do like work? So when we went to the studio, the guy who did it, I think Alfie's going to do work experience with them, aren't you?
Oh, at some point. That was going to happen, and then lockdown obviously took place.
Yeah.
You should ask Alfie about his solo stuff. Alfie's got those solo stuff out at the moment. Really great.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have a separate interview, or we'll actually get you to one of our Saturday shows. Do an acoustic Saturday show with us. Yeah, we had some of those. That's been really good. We did a Nashville connection last night. We had a German connection.
Oh,
so
really?
It's starting to spread around the world a little bit. Yeah, so it's quite good. So yeah.
Kevin, the worldwide.
Getting out there. So yeah. Okay. So let's ask you a couple of these questions. So our favourite question. Every band gets this. It's a weird one. So if you had a pet snail, what would you call it? And if you repeat an answer we've already had, we will say beep, and you'll have to try again. So let's
start.
Pink chicken. Yeah.
Pink chicken.
Pink chicken.
So you're all going out. So is the Riversiders snail going to be called Pink Chicken then?
For sure, man. It's got history.
Yeah, our emblem.
Okay, yeah. Pink chicken. All right. Okay, that's quicker than usual. Usually everyone answers separately, but that's good.
Well done, Digby. Well done. Carrying the team there.
All right, who's the best dancer in the band?
Digby.
Yanni.
Oh, Yanni's got some moves. That's true.
Yanni's got that swagger when he dances.
That's very true.
He makes it.
Digby's a trained ballet dancer.
No, but I can't make it. So yeah, but no one does ballet at parties though. I mean, that's just a bit strange.
I think
when
Yanni, I think you've got a touch of the Patrick Swayze's about you, mate. To be honest.
Yeah.
You got that look.
Cool,
okay.
No, sure.
Right. Who's the most likely to forget about a rehearsal?
We're not gonna act like that doesn't happen all the time.
I don't do it on purpose.
He's either the first one to come or never. He just doesn't arrive. He just doesn't come to them sometimes.
He's usually sleeping.
I'm still working on it.
We'll call him
after lockdown. I'm going to be a changed man. Just you wait.
Okay. I would suggest what you do is start changing now while you're in lockdown, because coming out of lockdown and then we're all expecting a change and it won't be there. because you'll be working on it.
Yeah,
I've
actually started using my calendar. I've started using my calendar on my phone. I know it doesn't sound like a month, but for me, that's like a big deal. Like, that's like, you know, a big step up.
We heard a
Round
bit
of
about your
applause for
technophobia. Right, here we go. Now, do you want to do this as a we do this as a band? Okay, so you're a band. The bucket list band to play with. Who's the band that as a band you want to play with on stage?
Arctic Monkeys.
I was going to say that as well. I was going to say Arctic Monkeys.
All into the Arctic Monkeys.
Would be good.
Basic British teen answer.
Yeah. Mainly because they would bring a good audience.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very common answer, but I think it's very common for a reason. I mean, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're very good. Yeah. And there's those bands every now and again come up, and that you get a set of bands that come out in an era, and then one of them just emerges as being the band that everyone's going to remember.
Yeah.
They've got a bit of longevity about them. They've got a bit of originality about them, and people just love their songs. You know, so.
You hear them like so many bands today. Like you listen to a band, you can just tell they listen to Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, it's a big influence, isn't it? I think a lot of people.
That's probably
it's
what
good.
people hear when they hear us. Well, I don't know. I've definitely heard some bands that are like Arctic Monkeys rip-offs. Hope we're not like that, but maybe. I don't know.
So, you've been together a couple of years. You've done a lot of gigs. So, any crazy fan stories we should know about?
That's that.
Okay, so there was this. We got a fan who always goes a bit too crazy in our gigs. His name is Adam, and in one of our gigs, one of his friends just chucked him in the air, like held him up and just threw him in the air, and his boots hit our manager in the head. And I think it was like our manager's first time in one of our gigs. So
that's true. It was at the basement door as well. It was in the garden.
Which one was that? Was that at which basement door gig was that?
The Richmond one. I'm not sure which one it was.
This was like a year and a half ago, 1 year ago, something like that.
Wow, jeez, man.
Felt so guilty, man. George is such a nice manager, man. He's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is Adam. He always comes to every show.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So how did you get a manager? I mean, is it like, did he approach you, or did you find him?
Well, I met him on I saw this sort of app, which was meant to be like, basically you'd go online and you'd be paired with like other musicians and stuff, and and you'd like put in like a box what you would be looking for. So I was like, a manager. And at the time we were in the Riversiders wasn't a thing. But then basically I found George, and George was like an A&R guy who also did some managing. And this was like 3 years ago. And he said that he wanted to manage me as a singer, but with a band behind. And so the Avengers assembled and we formed the Megazord.
Okay.
And now we're here.
And now you're slashing your way through the music charts.
Just trying our best.
So, okay, we're going to listen to another single of yours now. What's this next single called?
Blindside.
And how's this been doing on the old Spotify trail?
This one's doing all right, but because lockdown hit just as we released it, it's doing fine. It's on about 9, almost 10,000 streams.
Do you know what? That's pretty good going, mate. I mean, some people just, they're pleased to get 1,000, and to do that, that's pretty good going. I think it's just doing really well. I know there's loads of like. So
I was gonna say it's annoying because I think it could be doing a lot better, because also there was a mistake. I can't remember who it was, but someone they set the date when they wanted to release it by, but they did it last year, so it basically released it as quickly as possible. So
that was original too, man. That was original too.
Oh,
Yeah, we had some issues
see
with
one
that
of the
song.
big-
Oh my god.
Cool. Okay, so
Guilty.
so let's go and listen to I forgot the name of the song now.
Blindside.
Blindside. Let's go listen to Blindside and see what that sounds like for people.
Life lies behind you, but you can barely see. All the time you've been wasting, escaping, overthinking little things that happen, situations, but your mind time looking forward, looking back, so now we breathe. But you blindside yourself, I'll give you that for free. Swear to remember, but you always lose your train of thought. Derailing it every time with a little stop and start. Maybe you should loosen up your mind, make the effort, take the time, 'cause it would be appreciated. Your mind is a temple thing, no learn. Potential, she says. You might get started, but the portals are empty there. They're rolling on the floor. You know you're letting your people down to try to frown with your head in the ground. Chilling out, hoping you might get found. Can you hear that sound? No, it's nothing. Your mind is a temple thing, no learn. Pay attention, she said. You might get started, but the portals are empty there. They're rolling on the floor. Oh, your mind is a temple thing, no learn. Pay attention, she said. You might get started, but the portals are empty there. They're rolling on the floor. They're rolling on the floor. Oh, your mind is a temple thing, no learn. Pay attention, she says. You might get started, but the portals are empty there. They're rolling on the floor. Oh, your mind is a temple thing, no learn. Pay attention, she says. Oh, you might get started, but the portals are empty there. They're rolling on the floor. They're rolling on the floor. They're rolling on the floor.
Cool. So that was Blindside. Doing fairly well. And we hope people are enjoying that. And you've got, I mean, how many songs have you actually got in your repertoire now? How many have you actually written and that
Oh,
you're sort of
we've released 4, but like what we play at gigs, we've got quite a few unreleased songs that we like to chuck in there. Probably I don't know, like 7 or 8.
okay? Is that part
No,
of a strategy, or is that just the way you're
It's
doing
sort of,
things?
well, maybe we have a strategy, maybe we don't.
Ambiguous bastard.
It's top secret.
Okay, so it could be a strategy. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Right, and don't we?
Because Alfie and our manager are just so. They just really understand how the industry works. Because one thing that made really clear to me is, sorry, someone's knocking on my door. Yeah.
He's got a visitor. Shh.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Who was it?
Is it tea
It
time?
was my mum. No, I'm not sure. I'll talk to her after. Yeah, one thing that Alfie and our manager George made me really understand is that a lot. It's a lot about the industry now, isn't it? It doesn't really matter the music you write. You really need to understand how to make it famous, which Alfie and the manager are just really damn good at. So I think we owe a lot of our success to them. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's knowing how to play algorithms, how they work, how to get to certain people. You know, we had Arlo Parks play for us a couple of years ago, and she's now like doing so well. I chatted with her about 4 weeks ago. She's just saying how it's great to sort of like she played at the Basement Door, and then she's doing all this stuff, and she was Apple Music Person of the Month and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, so how do you get to that position? It's just one of those things, isn't it? It just turns out that way. So yeah, it's good to like, it's good to sort of like invest in learning about things, and don't just think, well, we're a band, we're playing music, but you have to do that business side of things as well, and think there's two parts of this. If you can do the band thing and play gigs and earn some money, and maybe all your life you can go through doing that, or you give it up one day and blah blah. But actually, if you do want to succeed, you have to learn the business side of it. You have to sort of get and learn what's going on. So it's good. It's good you got a manager and a lead guy doing that for you. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty impressed with the ASAT's guitar playing. That's quite one of the features. It's one of the features, isn't it?
We would be nothing without ASAT, man.
Yeah.
Too kind.
Those riffs, man. Those riffs.
He brings the fire, man. That's the truth.
I remember we did the Ealing Blues Festival thing with you last year, and we got you into that and everything. It wasn't a great day, I must admit. I think the day itself could have been a bit brighter and sunnier, and there could have been more people there. But did you enjoy doing that anyway?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the festival was it looked so professional. The stage was amazing. The lighting was amazing. I really enjoyed playing there.
Good. And obviously and obviously the Hanwell club now is forming, so there's going to be a Hanwell Hootie club type thing, which is under these arches. So we're looking to get bands into there with Alistair as soon as we can, really. So we establish a bit of ground there as well, because that'd be really cool. Guys, listen. Is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything else you'll cover before? Like, are you planning to release anything else soon?
We are working on new songs, but
yeah, we're taking lockdown.
We can't really, during lockdown, we can't really get it to a professional level to release. So after lockdown, it'll be full speed. I think
we've got some songs in the works and some ready to record, and we've saved up enough to pay our nice sound engineer, the producer Ian.
Okay.
Who did Blindside. Yeah. He's really good, like super professional. I think that's probably our best studio experience, really.
Wow.
With Ian. And so yeah, once lockdown's done, once we can get together, we'll be rehearsing, and
yeah, be good. Because we've had some funny experiences with studios. So we've had a few of them that we've worked with over the years. We had State of the Arc, which is now closed down, which is an amazing studio. It's quite costly though to go into there. So I think they pay their sound engineers like £200 a day, so minimums, which means that they say you have to have 2 sound engineers to do a band. So there's 400 quid before you've even got through the door. And then there's paying for the studio time, and then there's doing the sort of production and mastering. So it ends up, it's probably coming close to £2,000 per day to record there, and maybe that's why they closed down. But it was people like Noel Gallagher recorded there and stuff like that, so there's got a reputation. But and it was sad they closed. And then we worked over with my friend over in Shepperton, which is that was a very strange experience, because we had to bring everything ourselves almost. It was like they provided a room. The desk was there, but it's only a My Desk 32, so it's more of a gig desk than it is a recording desk.
I think I remember telling you about that.
Yeah, and then this year they decided to charge us double the time, and it was like, wow, that's really ridiculous. So then I remembered that my friend Graham has been doing a recording studio for years now, but he's an old musician friend of mine. And as that you'd love him. His guitar playing is absolutely out of this world. I mean, the guy's an absolute freak on the guitar.
I would love to hear that.
Oh, just amazing. And he has these collection of guitars, and he keeps on looking at people when we bring the bands in. He comes in and goes, "Oh, another brand new shiny guitar." And his one is worn to bits. I mean, he's got Gibson. And it's absolutely just worn. The back of it's all worn away, where it's against his body all the time, and where he's strummed it, and the fretboard's even got marks on it from him. It's it's a mellowed in, worn in instrument, and it's incredible. But he's just bought a desk a little while ago. It's a £100,000 desk he bought, brand new desk, and he brought, and then he's got all of his other gear, and he's got a reel to reel in there. So we just did the Hornets in there a little while ago, and I thought, and the price he gave me was like outstanding. I thought, we can't beat this really. So, and even now in the lockdown, he's doing mastering for 30 quid for us. Any band that we put through to him, he'll do mastering of their tracks for 30 quid each. And he's top notch, absolutely top notch guy. And I think we've taken two completely different bands in, but he knows his music so well that he just knew what they knew what sound they were looking for, and he just did it all and produced it all, and it was like it's exactly what they wanted, and it was like it's just really good. So yeah. Anyway,
that sounds pretty good.
Enough of that. Yeah, but the studio works. Finding the right studio, it's a bit of another process, isn't it, to go through and just making sure you get the right ones. If you found
we went through so many producers to find the right one, and I feel like Ian has been the best so far.
He's definitely he captured the sound we wanted the best, didn't he?
That's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need.
I think because like we've gone to other producers, and it's not that they're bad. It's just they didn't understand what sound we wanted, which I think Ian's really do, and we're really happy with what he did. So.
And is Ian a musician himself?
I'm not sure. He must be.
He did play guitar in the studio a little bit, but
I didn't hear that. I'm sure he is. I think he's mainly a producer because he's worked with quite a few high-profile people. Like, I remember him saying at one point he like produced in a studio where like Hosier came in and stuff like that. And, so that's pretty sick. He knows his stuff. And I think he left that studio because he wanted to become he wanted to do more interesting stuff and not fall into like sort of a repetitive motion of like making the same music over and over. So he approached loads of different bands. So he actually approached
it can also be like quite like it's long days you're making a song sometimes. So if you don't have like the right relationship, it can be quite stressful.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Quite agree. Good. Listen, guys, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you very much for doing this, and we hope you just get a load of people to watch it on Wednesday. Should be fun, especially the Digby dropping in and out and stuff. That's going to be hilarious.
I'm really sorry about that.
No, but it's fine. It's cool. It's good.
Maybe take a chance to show us that's ponytail.
Oh, switch sides. Nice.
Oh, wait.
What's he done? Has he fallen off the chair? Look, he just went.
He's on his phone. He's on his phone. So.
There he is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Look at that. Look at that.
Nice. I got all my cut off, all my wild hair got cut off, man. Cool, guys. Right, listen. It's been lovely chatting, and we'll see you all again. So hopefully we'll see you again at a Basement Dog gig somewhere. Wherever we might be on the planet, you never know where we could be. We could be doing New York Times Square sometime in the future. Everything goes right. We never know. Anyway, all right. So it's good to see you guys, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers, Kev.
Bye. Bye.